second tug, Liam came to him immediately, turning so his back was against Ondry's stomach. Ondry wrapped his arms around Liam and soaked up the heat that always seemed to radiate from his human. The other human trader watched with large eyes, swallowing over and over. Ondry did not understand why unease would cause an excess of swallowing, but he believed Liam's previous description of the human gesture. Some days, Ondry found it quite amazing that he had recognized Liam's need for a partner who would gather him up and care for him, because, after long conversations with Liam, Ondry had decided that many of his assumptions about the human race were wildly wrong. He would have felt shame in his misjudgments. However, other Rownt had misunderstood humans even more. Attil chose another roof support and leaned against it, his nose widening in interest. Yet his gaze remained on Liam, rather than the books the human trader had brought. Ondry failed to understand why Liam showed so little interest in the human offerings, and since he was trading for them, Ondry was loath to interfere. With a relatively new species like humans, information was amongst the most valuable of all trade goods. Yet Liam's disinterest appeared genuine, rather than a show made to drive down the price. The other human became most desperate now. "Do you think any of our customers would want tech?" Liam asked Ondry, breaking the silence. Formal trading happened in silence, with tokens and trade goods moved around on the table, according to customs that had been around since before humans had first reached space. One honored the central trading squares by not engaging in the mutual insults designed to earn one a better deal. So to offer insult now either showed a serious lack of etiquette on Liam's part, or suggested that the human goods were not worth seeking. The human trader gave out an explosive sigh. "Come on, Munson, your own notes said that books were a good trade," he said in heavily accented Rownt. Liam shrugged and leaned into Ondry. "Good books, yeah. Those are fiction books. Bad fiction books. Which are great sources of psychology." The last word came out in English, a jumble of slurred sounds that took Ondry a half-second to mentally interpret. He wondered if Attil knew the word. Ondry felt a slash of pride in potentially possessing more detailed information on a trading partner than Attil, who was both older and more highly ranked. "Craig," Liam said wearily. "You could sell them," Craig protested as he gestured at the table. "Perhaps," Liam agreed. "But in 100 years, when the customers learn that the information is skewed and untruthful, where would that leave us?" "We'll be in the grave long before that happens," Craig pointed out. Ondry could see Attil immediately pale, and he felt the same. The idea of an adult having less than a century of life seemed such a waste. How evolution could invest so much in creatures who lived such short lives was a problem better suited to the grandmothers as they sat and discussed the great philosophical questions. However, Ondry was not ready to accept defeat. He tightened his arm around Liam's stomach. Other species excelled at manipulating genetic material, and the Rownt abhorrence for altering themselves would not extend to altering a beloved palteia who had too few years allotted to him. "Ondry will still be trading, and those customers will remember he provided inferior goods," Liam said firmly as his fingers drew circles against Ondry's skin. Ondry felt another flash of pride. Liam was announcing, in front of high-status traders, that his Chilta would never accept short-term profits over the long-term benefit of a good reputation as a trader. Ondry could almost feel Attil study him more carefully, and the one who had brought tech goods would take tales of this back to Prato-Alta, one of the largest of the Rownt communities with trading ties with the technologically powerful Imshi. The human, Craig, now sat on the edge of his table and ran a hand through his hair. "What am I supposed to do with all these, then?" "I'm sure a younger, less experienced trader will offer you a good profit," Liam said with a casual shrug. For a time, Craig looked at them, and then Liam gave a small push against Ondry's